Stop talking like an average guy, and she'll start seeing you as someone worth her time. The truth is simple. There are things you say without even realizing, and in her mind, they put you in the disposable category. Today I'm going to show you exactly 7 phrases you need to stop using immediately if you want a woman to think about you, miss you, and get addicted to your presence. And the best part? You won't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Just cut out what's been sabotaging your masculine presence without you even knowing it. Phrase number 1, whatever you want. This is, without a doubt, one of the most dangerous phrases you can say to a woman. And the worst part is that most men don't even realize it. Saying whatever you want gives the impression that you're handing over the responsibility of the decision to her. It might sound polite or democratic, but in practice it comes across as a lack of leadership. And the truth is, women feel safer with men who know what they want and where they're going. This isn't about being bossy. It's about having clarity. Think about it. How many times have you had the chance to suggest a restaurant, a place for a walk, or even a movie, and chose to let her decide everything? It might seem small, but this slowly chips away at your emotional authority. When a man acts with this kind of passivity, it sends the message that he doesn't really care, and when she senses that, she starts to disconnect, even if unconsciously. Trust is built through the small choices. Women, especially high-value ones, want someone who leads, not someone who hides behind indecision. A guy who says, "Let's go to that place I like, I think you'll enjoy it too," shows attitude, confidence, and consideration at the same time. That triggers a woman's instinct to follow someone with vision and direction. You don't need to always get it right. You just need to show that you're willing to lead. That alone puts you ahead of 90% of other guys. So next time you're about to say whatever you want, stop and rephrase. Think of a simple, direct suggestion with intention. Something like, "I was thinking we could grab lunch at that new cafe on Main Street. I've been wanting to try it." Simple, but powerful. Men who make decisions naturally and effortlessly create comfort, and that's incredibly addictive for any woman. She wants to follow someone who knows where he's going. Be that guy. Phrase number 2, "Sorry, that's just how I am." This phrase reveals much more than it seems. When a man says this, he's basically admitting he doesn't plan on growing. It's like saying, "Don't expect me to change." The problem is that kills the mystery, the growth, and the possibility of a genuine connection. Women, especially mature and self-assured ones, are attracted to men who are constantly striving to be better, not perfect, but always evolving. Now picture this. She brings up something that bothered her, maybe something subtle, like the way you respond to criticism. And you answer with, "Sorry, that's just how I am." Done. That simple phrase closes doors. It shows that you'd rather stay in your comfort zone than face your shadows. And a man who doesn't challenge himself eventually becomes predictable and uninteresting, not out of malice, but out of stagnation. Real men don't justify themselves with excuses. They listen, reflect, and if it makes sense, they adjust. That doesn't make you smaller, it makes you greater. A man who looks inward and says, "I can work on that," stands out, because these days most people run from that kind of responsibility. Masculine growth isn't about being tough or cold. It's about being honest with yourself and having the courage to step out of autopilot. Here's an invitation. Think of an area in your life where you tend to hide behind that phrase. It could be at work, in relationships, or even in self-care. Now ask yourself, what if instead of justifying it, you just changed it? Drop a comment below. What habit or behavior are you ready to let go of? Your answer might inspire other guys on the same journey. Phrase number 3, "Can I call you later?" and never does. This phrase, when not followed by action, becomes a symbol of lack of commitment. It doesn't matter how smooth or polite it sounds in the moment. If you say you're going to do something and don't follow through, you lose valuable points. Trust between a man and a woman starts with the little things. And when those little things are neglected, her interest starts to fade. even if she doesn't say it out loud. Picture this. You two talk, the vibe is good, and when saying goodbye, you drop the classic, "I'll call you later." She waits. Hours pass, maybe even days, and nothing. Even if it seems minor, it plants doubt in her mind. Did he mean it? Was he even that interested? Worse, does he do this with everyone? This kind of inconsistency doesn't create drama. It creates emotional distance. You don't need to be the guy who promises the world. Just be the guy who follows through. If you're not sure you'll call, don't say you will. It's more honest to say, "If I get a free moment later, I'll send you a message." That's real, direct, and far more respected. Women value men who are consistent in their actions, not with rehearsed lines, but with behavior that shows integrity. When she realizes your words carry weight, something shifts. She starts to relax around you, to trust, and even open up more. So next time you say goodbye, remember, the right phrase isn't the one that sounds nice. It's the one you'll follow through on. And that, even in a small moment, separates an average guy from a high-value man. One talks, the other acts. Phrase number 4. You deserve someone better than me. This phrase might sound humble, but behind it is a dangerous mechanism. Self-sabotage, disguised as empathy. When a man says this, he's not really complimenting the woman. He's just admitting that he doesn't see himself as worthy. And what happens when someone shows they don't value themselves? Naturally, the other person starts to see it too. Not out of cruelty, but because respect starts in the mirror. Plus, this phrase creates unnecessary drama. It puts the woman in a position where she has to emotionally validate you. No, come on, you're amazing. And that comes off as needy. Instead of creating connection, you create emotional weight. She starts to feel like she has to carry you emotionally, when what really attracts a woman is the lightness and confidence of a grounded man. That emotional burden you just dropped on her? It can push her away, and she won't even be able to explain why. Let's be real. If you're going through a moment of insecurity or low self-esteem, don't use that as an argument in a relationship. Use it as fuel to grow. Acknowledge that there are things you need to work on, but show that you're willing to do that work. That attitude is honest and admirable. Saying you deserve someone better is like throwing in the towel mid-fight, when all she really wants is to see you get back up. Now reflect. Have you ever said that just to avoid a tough conversation, a challenge, or even the fear of being rejected? If so, it's time to flip that script. Instead of running away out of fear, find strength in vulnerability. And remember, no woman will get addicted to a man who doesn't recognize his own worth. Admiration starts when you decide to show up as someone who's a work in progress, not someone who's already declared defeat. Phrase number 5. You look beautiful, as always. At first glance, this phrase seems sweet, but believe me, it loses its impact precisely because it's predictable. The problem isn't the compliment itself, but the generic and automatic way it's delivered. When you say, "as always," you're stripping the moment of its power. It's like you're on autopilot, saying it without really looking at her. And you know what that communicates? Lack of presence. Women are extremely sensitive to the energy behind words. They notice when you say something because you truly feel. Demisen when you're just repeating a pattern. A compliment only works when it's specific and tied to the moment. If she changed her hairstyle, added a new accessory, or picked an outfit that highlights something unique, and you don't notice, she feels it. Not because she needs validation, but because she wants to be seen. Replace the generic, "you look beautiful," with something more real and intentional. For example, "that shade of blue matches the way you look at me," or "your smile today looks like it's hiding some dangerous plans." See the difference? You're not just complimenting. You're building an emotional connection. You're showing that you're paying attention, reading the signs, and appreciating the details. That's rare, and everything rare is attractive. So next time you compliment her, don't go for the obvious. Train your eyes. Be more observant. When she realizes you see what others ignore, That's when she starts getting hooked, because a man who sees a woman beyond the surface becomes unforgettable. And more than that, he becomes irresistible. Phrase number 6. Let's do whatever, I'm good with anything. This phrase might sound easygoing, but it actually reveals disinterest disguised as flexibility. When a man says whatever works, he may seem like he's trying to be agreeable, but in reality, he's avoiding the responsibility of taking initiative. And that, in a woman's eyes, weakens masculine magnetism. It's not about being controlling, it's about having direction, even in simple choices. Imagine a woman hearing that after a long day, when all she wants is to feel like she's with someone who knows what he's doing. Whatever sounds like apathy, like you're there just for the sake of being there, not because you truly care about creating moments with her. And that's not attractive. In fact, it makes her feel unappreciated. The lack of intention creates emotional distance. The men who stand out aren't the ones who wait for things to happen. They're the ones who take the wheel and steer with ease. Something as simple as saying, "I'm in the mood to grab a coffee at that new spot that just opened. Wanna go?" already shows presence, intention, and genuine interest. She doesn't want you to fly her to Paris. She just wants to feel that you care about creating experiences, that you're not just checking a box. Don't make the mistake of thinking letting her decide everything is being nice. It gets exhausting. The balance is in suggesting, listening, and adjusting, but always starting from a clear point. When you show you know what you want, even if it's just an afternoon plan, you activate something in her that makes her relax and trust you. A man who makes suggestions with confidence but without rigidity becomes naturally addictive. Phrase number 7. You're different from all the others. This one sounds like a compliment, but in practice it's just another empty line from the insecure guy's playbook. When a man says this, he thinks he's being romantic or special, but he's just repeating a cliche she's heard dozens of times before, sometimes even from guys who ghosted her the next day. The truth is, if all you have to offer are recycled lines, she won't feel anything new around you. What really sets you apart in a woman's eyes isn't generic words, it's unique experiences. If she really is different, prove it through your actions, attentive listening, and noticing the little things. Don't say you're different. Show that you see the way she gets lost in her own thoughts, the way she views the world, or that sharp wit only you seem to get. That's personal. That's connection. Lines like this put you in the same category as guys who compliment out of convenience, not truth. That weakens your authenticity, and nothing is more attractive than a man who speaks little, but when he does, says something that truly stirs emotion. Want to compliment her? Base it on something you would only notice if you were actually paying attention. That's rare. That hits her deep. At the end of the day, what attracts a woman most is the feeling of being seen, not as a generic label, but as a unique individual. When you show that in a subtle and genuine way, she starts associating you with depth. And at that point, my friend, she connects with you in a way no scripted line in the world could ever achieve.